Alright, so this is my 2006 E320 CDI that is hopefully going to get turned into a drift car. So, we'll see how that goes, but a couple things done, obviously. Got the E63 bumper. We got some, these are the current wheels. They are getting replaced at some point, but 19s are not very drift friendly wheels and tires, obviously. So we're gonna go under the hood here. Alright, see what we got here. Alright, so nothing too special, but you know, it's got some of the nice things done to the engine. So we got a Mishimoto upgraded intercooler down there. It is a hybrid turbo that you, I'm sure, cannot see with the current lighting situation. And then that right there, big guy, so 400 CDI pump. And beyond that, I don't think there's much. Oh, also exhaust-wise, also can't really see. It's got a catalyst downpipe, tuned accordingly as well with all these mods. So the only thing I don't have is new injectors. Hopefully we will get some in there soon. Right now it's just running Bilstein, I think B6 shocks, so they're gonna close this. New ABC pump as well. Not ABC, SBC. So let's come down here. This is one of the coolest parts. So we got massive brakes. It's a 19-inch rim. These are the 390 millimeter rotors. 6-piston calipers from, I think, either a 212 E-Class or SL55 P30 package. But that's one thing I'm going to dive into first. Is we're going to try to fit an 18-inch rim with that big of a rotor and caliper. So it's been a challenge, but it should be possible. And then, of course, in the rear we got the 4-piston, I think 330s. You know, nobody cares about the rears. And then it is a fully, pretty much straight piped setup. So we got catless to no mufflers, so it's pretty much turbo back. And then I was going to show the suspension if I was able to. Can't see much there. I can see a tiny little bit in there. So they're like B6s. They do have adjustable height, but you gotta like take the coil over fully out to do that. And yeah, let's give this guy a start up. We're not gonna piss off any neighbors tonight, but we'll just let it idle. It is hot, so we'll get this started. Alright, so the other thing is, the car's got 106,000 on it. It's, you know, pretty low mileage for one of these things. Crappy tan interior. Let's see what it sounds like. Do got a check engine right now for a really dumb reason, but it's gonna be there for a bit. Hot, so there's no cold start. The intake sounds really good in this car, though. See if it wants to brake boost a little bit. Alright, and then over here we're going to have a pile of some parts that I've been gathering. So a couple things we have, right? This is going to be a E55 diff. Let's see, this is broken, but comes on the E55 diff. And it has a wave track LSD in it. So now these are definitely not cheap when you buy them new and then pay for someone to install them. But I got pretty lucky. I paid $900 for the whole diff, which I thought was a pretty good deal. And especially since I already needed the diff to hopefully swap into that. Let me pull this open real quick. Here we have cover off. It's the front here. So as you can see, both sides are spinning. Kind of hard to tell, but they are both spinning. And then we got the little nice little wave track serial number on there. So, you know, hopefully it lasts. It's not new. Previous owner didn't know how many miles were on it. He bought his car with this already installed. But some stuff on a diff. So for my research, some changes are obviously the dual. Where is it? Yeah, so the dual mount. Oh, it's on the cover. That's why. Confused here. So dual mount on the diff cover side, and then the axles. So that's what these are here. These are going to be 50 E55 axles. I got a pretty good deal. I paid $200 for both of these. There is a ripped boot on just that side. Hopefully I can replace easily. But so E55 diff, and then the other part too is the flange over here is different. So ideally, you should be able to take the stock E320 flange right here, throw it on the E55 diff. That way you don't have to also acquire a drive shaft from an E55. You can actually swap these seals, I'm pretty sure, with the E320 seals as well. But obviously having beefier axles, which these are, I'm pretty certain are a lot beefier than the stock ones on a non-AMG. So having beefier axles is nice. Having a beefier drive shaft is not that important in my opinion. So that's going to be, obviously the most important part of drifting. But I might still weld the diff on this thing and, not really care about messing up axles or the diff, even though it would probably hold up pretty well. So we'll see. This is going to be the winter project, is throwing this thing in there. Yeah, my only dilemma is I don't really want to. You pretty much got to drop the diff to weld the diff, because that cover has mounts on it. And if I'm going to drop the diff, I might as well put this one in if it's going to be sitting all winter. I kind of ran out of time to run it this fall. That was definitely the goal, but I didn't get the diff welded in time, so we'll see. But that is the plan for now. And then the first mod we're actually going to do to the car is we're going to get rid of these 19-inch massive wheels in the front, and we're going to hopefully fit some 18s. So they're 18 by 5 weld Ventura, and -23 offset, and it's pretty much a drag racing skinny for an AMG car. A lot of E55 guys run these when they actually drag race. But one thing I did do was, this is a spare tire from a 2014 Mustang GT. So this size, which is a 185, it's upside down, but 185, 55, 18. So you can definitely do a 50 sidewall, of course. That's what all of the drag racing slicks are. But my main dilemma was, it's like almost 400 a tire to buy this actual drag racing slick, which is insane to me. And I'm not actually drag racing here, so I bought this 2014 spare tire. It is like it doesn't have very much tread, even though it is brand new. But they fit right up. These are the 185 tire, just like I wanted. And then they do have like the 50-mile-an-hour speed limit stickers and stuff on them. So we'll see how they go. I paid $130 for a rim and the tire, so I thought that was a pretty good deal, and I got two, obviously. So we're gonna run these for a little bit, and hopefully they accomplish what I want and don't get worn through immediately. Right, so I'm starting to install on the skinnies, and here's just a better look of the rotor. They don't look that crazy here, I guess, with no reference, but I mean, like, that's my hand, right? And so that's basically almost a 16-inch rotor. It's 390 millimeters. And yeah, and those are the Bilsteins in there, so you can see the little, the grooves are just different heights, but I think you pretty much have to lower or pull the whole shock out, like I was saying before. But suspension's pretty much all new in here. I just need some new lowers. But yeah, that is the rotor, and we're gonna see how the brakes fit. Alright, so this is what we got here, and that's so crazy. Like, you can't even see, like, if I'm at level, you really can't even see any space between the rotor and the barrel. And then this right here, so like that is, it's hard to see on video, but there's a top, that little circle in the middle above the M right there. I can't really point, but it's so close that I can't even tell if it's touching or not, but it is in fact not touching, so, which is pretty cool. The only thing is balancing these tires might not be possible. I didn't have any balancing done when I had them mounted, but either they hopefully just balance out because of the size, or they can just balance it out with weights on the outer barrel there. But fitment wise, it pokes like a little bit, so that's, top of fender right there. So they barely poke, and then with some, obviously it's off the ground too, but with some camber and with it slammed, that really should be some perfect fitment as well. That is the other reason I went with these. So yeah, they fit. Let's put her on the ground, see what she looks like. Alright, so here we have the wheel installed, and yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of how they look, to be honest. These are not going to be the permanent rear wheels, but I do still feel like they're the most appropriate option of all of Weld's designs, because Mercedes is everything Patrick Star themed, like, and I'm sure y'all see the Patrick Star there. So I mean, these are the same, and the wheels I have going on are going to be in the rear E50 or SL55 5-spoke monoblocks, which are the skinny ones. So they pretty much look like that. And also my drift spares are quite literally this exact design. So yeah, I don't like how they look, but it'll look sick with the the polished barrel while it's rolling down the road. And then once again, yeah, the fitment's pretty, it's not great how it is right now, but like I said, some camber and some lowering in the front, and that thing will tuck. That really should tuck right in there. So we'll have to wait for that. But yeah, once again, look at that rotor. Let's get this thing out of the way. That's the gap right there, which is crazy. But the fact that the the caliper obviously pushes out a couple more inches, and it still fits in there is pretty crazy to me. But yeah, that is fitting 18-inch wheels on a car with massive brakes. So we'll see how it drives. Yeah, I'm not sure what what to expect. So they're not balanced, obviously, and they are not great tires, but let's go for a drive. All right, so quick drive, and you know, this thing is looking a little janky with the wheel setup, but it does drive a little weird. I'm having a couple of rubbing issues. It feels like it pulls to the left now when it didn't do that before, but did set a little bit from where it was before as well. This tire is definitely a little bit too tall for what the space is, which is a little annoying, but you know, it's what it is. Yeah, here's the car. Yeah, it'll look pretty good with the full wheel change and a little bit of drop, but it's definitely getting that drift spec look going. So we'll leave it off here for now and see what else we can do to the car.